Hey there, lads and lasses. With my gravelly voice. Hey, this here, of course, is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a. Good Lord, it is a Wednesday evening. It is just past 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that can only mean that it's time for some Minecraft, some Generations Minecraft server. And today is Baby Zombie Rush Beta in creative mode. Now, usually I stream this between noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but I did have an event today with with co-streamer and good friend Pleasant Player and Cyclopsalops and that whole crew. And so we did some recording today, and I need to send him my video point of view for that this evening, and then hopefully he'll have a finished video. A finished video out for you all to see. It was Halloween hide and seek. It's pretty funny. His friends on there are always a funny lot and stuff. So in our Discord will be the notification when that video drops. You can go check that out. But please go check out Pleasant Player too whenever you get a chance. You can get the notifications there as well. Okay, so yes. So then now I have to do Baby Zombie Rush stream a lot later in the evening, but I don't mind at all. A late stream is better than no stream. Better late than sorry. So, okay, with that said, let's switch on over our display scene right in there. I'd like to welcome on in number one son, Biggity. Up in his dorm this evening, pursuing his electrical engineering degree. In his third year, I might add. Good Lord. Hold on a tick. Wait a tick. For some reason, I'm not getting my display. Oh, that's right, because I needed to update that. So I did recently update the PC number one, the old PC, which used to be Biggity's PC. I sort of Frankensteined two PCs together, his old one and my old one, to make PC one, which I often refer to as PC BC for Biggity Cheese. Yep, my midterm went well. Oh, glad to hear it, son. Had a weird question, but I think I answered it correctly. Oh, and is that for the circuits class with the logic gates and stuff? Yeah, okay, let me switch displays and I'll update the display here while I'm over here doing this. Let me see, let's do that. Yeah, okay, I can minimize that. Let me just repair this. That's right. Forgive me, son. I forgot your midterm was today. Where would that be? Oh, I can do that right over here very quickly. Or somewhat quickly. We'll see how quickly. All right, yeah. This explains things. And let me minimize that. Come on over to here. We'll do that. We'll do this. We'll do this. And now we're in business. Business, you know what I'm saying? So, hey there. How you doing? So it's Halloween, month of October. So, you know, I'm wearing my Halloween skin. My zombified Thunderhand. The undead Thunderhand. Or this is more how I look IRL. Because I'm old and decaying. All right, enough of that. So where did we leave off? We were working on the aqua parkour. That's what we were doing. And we made significant progress the last time. We're installing it over here. And the idea is the player is running through. Of course, this floor will be restored here. None of this will be here, at least not in that form. But when they do cross this barrier, they will trigger a couple of things to happen. The floor will flood with water. From out of these walls will pop parkour features. This will also close, and it will be a barrier such that the player cannot get up and over, but the baby zombies can easily enter where the player cannot, right? And so the player, hopefully, but doesn't necessarily have to, will choose to parkour down to the end here. Meanwhile, the baby zombies who cannot parkour will be wading through the water, which will slow them down significantly. The player will then press this button if they so desire, and some articles will be issued to them. There we go. So they will get a pair of Depth Strider 3 boots, and they will also be equipped with a shillelagh with knockback 2 on it. Once they do that, this will be disengaged so they can't get more. And then they'll have to make a break for it. A timer will begin. And hopefully by the time they run down through here, the barrier will drop and the water will be drained. And that will allow the baby zombies to start rushing back. But the player will then be able to escape. They'll get the very, very slightest of head starts on the way back. But the cool thing is, as they're running through here, they'll have the Depth Strider 3 and the shillelagh. They can knock back the baby zombies and flee through here. That will drain. This will open. They can run out. The baby zombies are running through. And then I'm thinking on having this engage again. Maybe and block them off. Or maybe it'll just reset. I don't know. We may do something like that. So if we go down to here, what I was doing is this is the flooding mechanism for flooding the hallway, the passage there. This is for that particular one step that needs to come up so the player can access the parkour features. And then this over here activates all the parkour features on this wall. And then this one activates them all on that wall. All right, so I think tying all of these in with one power circuit, we have a choice of two things that we can pursue right now. We do need to set up this barrier somehow. That has to happen. I don't really know how to go about doing that. We've got a couple of options. Like having this pop out of here from this wall is okay because we have room to do that. Having this one pop out from this wall, however, is going to be it's going to be a bit of a problem. Because this would have to double extend. So we do have a little bit of redstone that we do have to work out with this. Also, we're going to have to bring this little feature over. And this is one of my favorite features. Right here. So this is a little redstone block clock that I made. It's a slight variation and a very compact version of the Etho Hopper clock kind of thing. And so I'm going to, I think, use this over here as well. It's just a natural, a very natural application for it right here. So when the player gets to the end, the moment that they hit this button to receive their goodies, it will activate this clock, I'm thinking, and which will deactivate the circuit. It's either that or upon entering right here and then triggering all of this, that also triggers a clock. That might be a way to go. In fact, you know what? I hear somebody at the front door. I'm going to have to go take care of that right now. And so I'm going to do a very, very quick be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. Just some of Mrs. Thunderhand's deliveries. Okay. Yeah. So you know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it might be beneficial. Well, I don't know. It might be easier to have the clock start the moment they activate everything, and then the clock's running. They're parkouring all the way down to here. They pick this up, and then they start heading back, and then the clock disengages, and all of this resets and opens and let them out. Building-wise, that would probably be the easier way to do it. But to have the clock engage the moment they hit this, I think would be a little better. Also, that that inspires them to hit the button, because if I do it that way, they actually can't get out unless they hit this button. So it kind of takes the choice of the button away, which I'm not sure that that's a good thing. Because in almost all of the other dead end features, the player really has a choice as to whether or not they want to hit the button. But this would be the only feature where they didn't have a choice. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure that that's the right thing to do. I would like to maintain that common theme throughout. I think that's a good thing to do. So I think the clock ought to be activated the moment they come in here. This closes, it locks them in, but the baby zombies start coming in. They're like, oh my God, there's water. I can start going through here. Or, hey, I can parkour above the baby zombies faster than they can wade through the water. And then I get to here, and I have a choice. I can take a risk and press the button, or I can start coming back. Maybe I can juke them. It's going to be hard to juke them through the water, though, because it slows them down, but it also slows me. And I can't parkour back. Not only that, but with this kind of feature, I also feel obligated to have some sort of timer to let them know, because they would be stuck down here. Think about it. They would get down to the end here. The player would get down to the end here, and the baby zombies would start wading across. If they decided not to press the button, they're like, well, the way is blocked down there. So I can't get out. So there's some, something that seems like it's simple, like this little parkour dead end feature. Game mechanics wise is actually pretty complicated, because you have to, again, you got to think about human nature, right? So you got to try to predict human nature here, and that's always a really hard thing to do. Like that there with maybe that there, and maybe that there. That's good. Of course, these lanterns won't be here afterwards. This is just for us to be able to do that, to be able to see. Actually, more for you to be able to see than me. So we do have that kind of conundrum, right? One thing that we can do is, when we figure out how to make this barrier work, we could have a light up above that shows the barrier when the barrier is open. And we could have the barrier open first before this drains. So it's just things like that that get kind of complicated here, right? So I think we should work on the barrier next. How to fit this barrier in here, how to make it open and close, right? And then the next logical thing would be is the circuit that activates all of these, right? So yeah, I would need a double piston extender here somehow. And the problem is, I have the redstone running this circuit is all right here. Now, I guess I could move this if I did it right. Like, I could move all of this apparatus over here. But I still think it wouldn't leave me enough room to activate this way. So this is a bit of a problem. Now, again, either way, I was thinking, you know what? I could put the barrier here and here, but then I still need it to be here, right? I still need the redstone to be inside here, and this is a pretty crowded place right now. If I put it across here, I have the same problem. I've got this redstone here and that redstone there. So this is a case where, you know, it being horizontal is a problem. Now, vertical would be better, just having the floor rise up. But again, how do we rise it up in a way that, I mean, this is ideal because the baby zombies can still get through. If I'm rising it up from the floor, I would be doing this kind of a thing. And I'm just doing it over here as an example. What do I want to do? Yeah, like this. Yeah, maybe like that, right? And then we can grab maybe one of these, like this. And would one activate two? No, it won't. Why not? Am I going to need pistons for this, or can I just get away with doing the thing? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, because it won't conduct that way into the block. I think it will if I... Yeah, but then it won't hard power through that. Yeah, soft powered, so it's not going to do it like that. We could rig up an inverter. Or would that do it? Not precisely, not quite like that. I can do it the hard way. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we could do this. If we put the slabs on top like this, they can get over, but if we put blocks up there, they cannot. So there's that kind of thing, but when you retract them, you're gonna get that. Right, so that's not gonna. Yeah, that's not cool. The other thing you could do would be to have a double piston extender. So let me see, slab. Now, Biggie's professor was telling him that he could practice the logic gates in Minecraft. And we used logic gates in Minecraft a lot, actually. The NOR gate is the one we probably use the most. But there's the NAND gate, and then there's the AND gate and the OR gate, and then there's the XAND gate and the XOR gate. And then there's the inverter, which is the NOT gate, the standard NOT gate. So... one of the things that Biggie and I were thinking of doing is when he gets back, which will be for Thanksgiving break at the end of next month, we might do a little stream for Baby Zombie Rush, or just maybe a creative mode stream for Generations where we go over the basic gates and then some applications of them. Like for example, I used to use the NOR gate. The NOR gate was the first one I learned because, and I learned that from Mumbo. I watched the Mumbo videos for the NOR gate, and I needed that because I would often find myself in a situation where I would have a structure, a room, or a wall, or something where I'd have doors at either end, and I would need the lever at one end to be able to open both doors and then go through, and then the lever at the end close both doors, and then vice versa, right? And so that's an OR gate, right? So that's an OR gate where it's either this lever on this end opens both doors, right? Or this lever on this end opens both doors, right? So that's an OR gate, and then a NOR gate negates that. So it's a not OR gate. So that means it's just got an inverter on it. So the standard state is on, and technically the levers on either end shut them off and open the doors. So it's that kind of thing. So you can use an OR gate there. It doesn't have. It depends on how your redstone is, right? So whether or not it's inverted or not. So let's see. We need to have double piston extender. This is going to be hard because we have this here. We're dealing with slabs and not blocks. So I'm thinking we're going to have to do something like this. One good thing about having so much redstone nearby, you can just select it like that. It's nice. Okay. So we could do something like this, right? Now I would use the same color blocks, right? This is just for testing, right? So that would raise that up by that much. Okay, and it would put it within range of, now we wouldn't use the blocks here like this, but it would put them in range of these two blocks like that. Okay, and then the player can't get in. So it would be a double piston extender like that. So, I mean, that would take care of that part. But, you know, I hate you, toilet. You know what? There's something about that where you guys can hear that, but I can't. And when I updated to Windows 11, a lot of things have reset themselves, and I think that's one of them. But I think I know what to do about that. Where is that? Alerts overlay. Oh, that's why. I know why. It's right here. Where's properties? Right there. That's kind of weird. If I do this, advanced audio properties should be there with the properties like that. I thought I knew. It's one of these. I just forget which one it is. I forget where those sound. I think they sound over here. Right there. And if I go into here, advanced audio properties, I only get this, and this doesn't help. It's not into there, monitor and output. It's right there. I'm good there. I'll mess with that later. Oh, wait, no, hold it. Redeems right here. Properties right here. Control audio via OBS. I forget. I thought I had that, but I forgot how the audio goes. It'll occur to me in a minute. Yeah, anyways. As long as you guys can hear it, that's the important thing. The only thing I don't like about not being able to hear the redeems and the alerts is especially the alerts. Like when somebody's rating in or they've donated or something, that's always a cool thing, right? And then not being able to hear that, that's a So what to do about this one? Yeah, you know, I don't have a way to make this come up from the bottom that's very satisfying. Because the thing I like about this is, again, you know, the player can't get through here, but the baby zombies can. And I don't have that with this kind of situation. Now, there are physical things that I can do here. Like I could come up with a configuration that looks like this, where, I mean, I can make something that works, but I don't want just something that works. I want it to be cool, right? For example, this is of what I speak. I mean, I could permanently have two things like this, right? Or over here, right? And so the barrier would just pop up out of the floor like that. And so the player can't get through, right? But the baby zombies can, right? But then that means in here I have these two dumb things sticking out all the time. And I don't like that. What I would like is to have nothing here. You know, I mean, just have it look like this. And then suddenly this comes up and out of here, right? And so that's my main thing, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Now let me take a look at something here. All right, those come out like that. These would have to come out like this. One of the other things that could happen too would be things emerging from the top, right? If it's like this, the player can't, I mean, the player would be able to get underneath, but see, the baby zombies would be able to get through, but the player can't. I don't even think the player can get through like, oh yeah, they can. So above is also another option. So above is also another option, right? But it's like, how do we place these pistons in place? Now, I could, since I'm going to trigger this with a command block, I could just have the command block place some blocks across that, like 4 slabs directly across. And then when it's up, the clock activates another command block, which just takes them away. I could do that, but I'd rather not. You know, if I could do it with redstone, I'd rather do it that way. Yeah, I want to use command blocks as little as possible. So either something dropping down from above like this, or something coming up through, or something from the sides. You know what? I think if I want to use redstone for this and not command blocks, I think this is going to have to wind up being reconfigured to free up this space so we can have this corner open to activate this mechanism. I think that's what's really going to have to happen here. There's just no way around it. So I'll tell you what, let's work on this side first, because this side's going to be the easiest. Now, the other thing to consider is we're going to need a double piston extender here, and I don't think, even in this, I don't think we have the room. Because think about it, if I remove this, right, I have this. This is already in this block, right? Now let's take a look. I'll show you what I'm. Oh. Oh. Oh yeah. I see what the problem is. This wall is only 3 wide. It needs to be 4. This wall is 4. This wall, yeah, this wall is, okay, we need to shave that off anyway and make this wall wider. Yeah, this wall is only, I was thinking back to the old Baby Zombie Rush configuration, and I made a wall that was 3 wide. They're all 4 blocks wide. Oh, we have some changes to make, people. This is a bit of a setback, kind of. So this whole thing really needs to be reconfigured. It really does. So, for example, if I power this, let's do this. So see, that engages all of those parkour features on that side. Here's the initiating step, which has to happen first, right? That way the player can, from here to here, and then proceed across. Then there's these ones, right? That all happens right here. All right. And hello? What happened? Did I not finish this the other day? Okay. I thought I had finished that. I have a little bit of moderation I have to do. Bye-bye. See ya. How am I doing for time here? I think I started around 7. Yeah, I got a little bit more time. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I finished this off. Or maybe when I put this in, I broke that. That's a distinct possibility. Yeah. All right. So what's supposed to happen is that, oh, that's supposed to come up right there. Oh, I think I see it. And this, yeah, this is probably off center a little bit. Oh, we're one shy of this. Got it. We need one more observer. I'm going to go like that for right now. Yeah, we need one more observer. Oh, and that observer has to point downwards. Okay, it'd be easier to do that this way. Wow, I wasn't aware I hadn't finished that. Thunder, really, dude. All right, so this needs to do that kind of thing right there. And then needs to do that kind of thing. All right, and then, all right, they're retracted. That's how they should be. Right. So, beetroot. We can get this guy over here. And let's do something like that. A little something. Like this. Okay, this will go here. And this will go here. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. It can stay like that, I think, right? Oh, I hear everything activate. Great. Okay, this is good. So when we're over here, we need to be able to parkour over to there, and then over to there, and then over to there, and across. All right, so you can see the whole activation mechanism here that runs that, right? Now, I do like the idea of when this activates. And this feature activates first. This one activates second. I do like that pop, pop, pop kind of progressive engagement like that. But you know what? We really do need that for that side. All right, we did determine that this is wrong over here. Right. Okay. Fuck. And sure, just like that. Sure. That means we're gonna have to take a row of these out. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, it'll be fine. It'll be fine, people. Trust me. Thusly. And let's just copy this whole texture right across, just like we have it here. Okay, that's good. All right, this is better. Now see, this gives us a little bit more room in which we can install that feature. Yeah, I like this. I do like it. Okay, now slight problem. What we wanted to have here was this kind of situation. All right, where that extends that outward. But if that happens, we'll be able to see this block, and that is not cool. That is not cool. So I was thinking on, you know, this is hidden behind the wall here, and then it gets pushed out to there. And then this one gets pushed out to here. And I was thinking maybe two get pushed up there to the center. See, because if, now this would be cool if I just had that, but see, the player can get under that. See? That's not good. So we have to figure out some way to construct a barrier across there. And again, you know, I'm very reluctant to have just the command block just spawn blocks there and then just despawn them after. I'd really rather not have that. Now, well, I was thinking, you know, fence gates, but they don't match. Like fence gates could be ideal in that kind of situation, right? Or just wall units, right? For example, if I had a wall unit right here, even though it's this low, I can't jump over it, right? This is a tough one. This is going to be a tough one, people. If we come up with this is going to be cool. So I'm thinking coming up out of the floor. I'm thinking coming in from the walls here is not going to work. It's going to have to come up from below. Yeah, it's definitely going to have to come up from below. Double piston extenders coming up from below all the way across. But we have to come up with some way for the baby zombies to be able to get through. And here's what I'm thinking. We have this block come out here. We have this block rise, but maybe it only rises by one. This is enough for the baby zombies to get through, but not enough for... Yeah, but I can't do that because I have the half block limit. Like, I can't raise it and lower it by half a block. It's got to be a full block. This is hard. This is hard, everyone. You know what I want to see? Hold on a sec. Hmm. Um, um, um. Got an idea. Yep. Okay, let's try it. Now, obviously, this comes from building other machines. Let's see. Stone button. Oh, not stone. Come on, hands. Some of you may know what I'm thinking of here. There we go. Now the thing is, how would it retract them back? Because it would have to pull them back. Like I could push them, no problem. It's pulling them back that would be hard to do. You know, I'm thinking there's an easier way to do what I'm trying to do. as usual. Dude, don't even think about it, please. So I was thinking, you know, I can push all the blocks out here. Right? And then I could just maybe push two of them up. They would end up here. I could push two of them up. This would go that high, that would go that high. Player can't get out. Baby zombies can get in through the sides. They would be fine, right? So I'm thinking something like this. But I don't know. Thinking that's not going to work. That would have been cool, though. So I think I'm going to go with... Yeah, I'm going to have to remember to remove some of these dispensers. This is going to suck. I have to remember, too. or the dispensers. Oh, this sucks. To have to remove these off the side, that's gonna suck. Because I had a beautifully clean number right over there. It was really nice. I'll worry about that later. Yeah, okay. So, oh, this is gonna cause a problem. Yeah, these have to come out. Because we're gonna have redstone bumping into redstone here. Now, technically, it should be here, but this is still going to be a problem. Please don't mess up my rails, please. Okay, that should be good. All right, so we're going to have that. This should still work. Wow, that was loud. But see how it floods everything there, right? Then when the baby zombies start to wade across, it slows them down significantly. But the player can parkour right over that. So maybe the player gets over here quickly to the other side, but then they have to think, right? Right, press this button, are good things going to happen or bad things? Right? And they have to make up their mind because the baby zombies are wading across. I mean, they're slow, but they're going to get there. Right? So the player's thinking, oh, maybe I can juke them. No, they'll die. So they get this, they get the galoshes with Depth Strider 3, and they get the shillelagh with knockback 2. Whack, whack, whack. They go zipping through here. As they get out through the other side, barrier drops. But this also drains. Baby zombies start running. They're like, oh my God. And then they got to get out of there. And then this whole thing resets. That's what's supposed to happen. Wow, is that loud? Whew. All right, it is time for us to run 3 minutes of ads. And I will do that, and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. And sorry, that was probably a little bit longer than 3 minutes, but when I stream in the evenings, evenings are kind of busy for me here. So, all right. So we were trying to figure out a mechanism by which these could deploy, right? And so maybe we were going down here like this. And we had maybe one row of them at about this height. I mean, this is a given. This has to happen here, right? And again, maybe I'll just use the smooth stone slabs for right now, and we'll go back to this after. I am a little concerned that this redstone is very close to that redstone, but let's see what happens. Now we're going to need double piston extender, so and that means at least au temporaire. We're going to need something like that. That kind of a thing. Now, this is one of those things where we can decide how we want this to activate. We can activate the top row first and then the bottom row. We can do that. I think the way that redstone travels, it's probably better to do... Well, we can't do it the other way around. For example, I can't activate the bottom and push these blocks up because then there's no way I can use redstone blocks to then activate these ones to raise the second ones up. So it has to be the top ones first and then the bottom ones. That's going to be interesting. I don't think I've ever built a double piston extender that works backwards like that. And it's probably because it can't be done. Because what you'll usually have happening is you'll have this kind of situation. Let's get this out of here. So double piston extender. You'll have, for example, no, that sucks. I forgot they activate like that. You could do something like this. Do redstone torches, maybe. Use an inverter, maybe. Now this is vertical. They are much easier. Double piston extenders are much easier in a horizontal way. Vertically, there's some challenges, but like for example, if that's there, it's going to activate that. But if it's there, oh, it still will. Yeah, it's that kind of a thing. So I think what I need to have happen yeah, I think I need this kind of thing to happen with a little redstone repeater right in there. And then see this. Oh, wow, it still powers that through, huh? Because the idea is this is supposed to then move up to here. And then power hits this and extends that one. That's how it's supposed to work. Could use a target block. Target blocks. I love target blocks. Yeah. Come here, buddy. Because target blocks only let signals through in one direction. It won't work diagonally. So if I... Now, this is starting to get a little extensive. But it should be fine. Now see how it extends this one, but not the one below it. That's what we want. Oh. You're killing me, Beavis. Insulate? Doesn't help. I hate you, quasi-connectivity. Come on. Brain is going to defeat you. Definitely. Brain is definitely going to defeat you. You are going to lose. You realize that. It's just, will it take the whole stream for my brain to do that? Come on, Papa. Come on. You can do this. Torch. Now, I place yield a redstone torch. Like right there. The problem is, this is powering that. That's a problem. So what if, and I'm just spitballing here. What if we have that kind of situation and then this moves up to there? Okay. So the idea is then like this with a lever, not a lever. And it's not a lever either. There's no F in there. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then when this is activated down here, see, you get that kind of a thing. Oh, but the problem is because of the way these are powered vertically, it can't be drawn back down. That's right. I forgot about that. Double piston extender upward, as the Frenchmen say, is not a good thing. I wonder if observers are going to do it. Because if I had, say, okay, observer would have to see something happening here. So the Piku would have to be, facing that way. Like this. So observer needs to see something there. And then output a pulse, and that would raise that one up. But the thing is, it's not going to raise one up permanently. I wonder. I wonder if we can do this with redstone blocks being pushed into place and then pulled away with pistons as well. Like if I, let me explain. um, So this would come up to here, for example, and then that would do that, and then this would do this, and that would do that. It's real janky, but I'm thinking that's how it's going to have to work. And it's only because of the mechanics of how pistons work vertically, especially up. If this were horizontal, it's so much easier horizontally. You just need a couple of repeaters, couple of blocks, a few sticky pistons, you're done, right? Vertical is a challenge, though. Vertical downward, too, is also much easier. Vertical upward is a pain in the butt. But I think it's going to have to be something like this. And so we would have... See, that would be the default state of the floor. Like that. Now, how is this going to work? Because you would get that happening. But now you need a way to raise that again. And that's the tricky part. Notice how now it doesn't want to cooperate. Because you can't send a redstone signal through a slab, right? Even if you have something like a repeater, like if I put a repeater there and I put this here, see how the signal doesn't go through the slab and into the... I hate you. All right. Huh. Gotta tell you, I love target blocks. And that's why, because of what it does right there. thing is, from here, how do we get it to rise up further? Like... Like, this is not going to do it. That's not going to do it. Because the quasi-connectivity only works downward, not upward. Like, notice how it won't power this way, but it will power. It will definitely power this way. Watch. Oh, go ahead, make a liar out of me. Oh, okay, that, oh, hey, that's, you know, that's interesting. Oh, but then it won't retract when we do that. Oh, now it's working. How embarrassing. Yeah, see, if I just place it there, nothing happens, right? All right, I need a double piston extender scheme for this. And I need it pronto. So our baby zombie track kind of looks like this. Like this. All right. And so we need this to pop up here. And then we need this to extend again. Now the problem is you could do something like from this side, which would be kind of, would be less detectable. Repeat it. Please, hands, just do the typing, please. There we go. I can spell repeater. I know how to spell that. Just let me type it. So you can see how for example, that would be like that maybe. Right? And then when that gets extended, that also gets extended. See how that would work? And then that would get removed. And that would be less extended. You could think of it like that too, right? So that would happen, and then that would happen, and then that would happen, and that would happen, right? And let me see. So you can see once again, whereas this happens here, right? Player definitely can't get through that. But the problem is the baby zombie can't either. That's a problem. That is a problem. Hmm. Okay, let me think about this. Can the player get through there? I think the player can get through there. Yeah, the player can get through there. Oh. Because what I was thinking of is just removing these, having those come up and having these come out. So like that, and then have the secondary fire and have those come up, right? That's what I was thinking. Okay, another thing we could do is maybe this. Now, what could happen here? What have I done? I've done something stupid. So we do have that. What could happen here? What if, like, those 3 blocks retracted? Those 3 blocks retracted, and then you had blocks like this. The player can't get through there, but the baby zombies can. And why not just pull all 4 of them back? And then do the same thing on this side. So this is not without its challenges. Right? And so let me see. This is actually that high. So barrier blocks would come up. They would double extend somehow. We could either, you know what we could do? Instead of having a whole other mechanism for those to be in place, we could just place these below. Now, the player still wouldn't be able to get into here. But maybe the baby zombies would... I don't know if the baby zombies would still get up and around. Then these could just slide over those blocks back into place like this. Then we could retract them, right? And the other thing we could do is we could make this vertical, which is probably the way to go, actually. Pistons, just pull those down, right? That's what we're doing there. Pistons, pull those down, push those up. We're in business. The thing is, will the baby zombies, though, choose this path around to get to the player? Because they need to be able to see the player. So, yeah, we need to work on this mock-up here a little bit. You know, just so we can test some things out. Because there's no sense in just, like, destroying that, rebuilding it, destroying it. Just do it out here. We'll get it down out here, and then we'll bring it into there. So the thing is, the baby zombies on the other side of this. Now, these will be extended. And again, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that. Yeah, that doesn't work. Oh, wow. I don't think that this can work. Holy smokes. Because the moment I go like that, because this won't retract. The moment I go like this and then activate this block, it won't retract afterwards. Now see, that acts as like a double piston, but then when I go like this, see how it doesn't retract because of that. Now we said pulling these down, right? That means each one of these would get a piston. That is going to be a problem right there. So maybe sliding them in from the side is gonna have to do. Like maybe retract these out and push those in. Wow. This is hard to do. This is very hard to do. How am I doing for time here? 8:45. I got about 15 more minutes left of the stream. Wow, this is a hard thing to design, actually. I think I'm on the right track, no pun intended. Oh, wait. We determined that these don't have to be pulled down, that these just need to be slid over the top. We can pull these down, but I think those just being pushed would be better because of the redstone down below. So what I'm talking about here is that kind of thing, and we would need an inverter, right? So biggie, we need an inverter for that. So we're talking about that kind of a thing. And then their default state is on, and then the active state would be off. So depending on how many inputs that would be, those would be your not or not and gates to run those. Biggie. But at the very least, they're going to use an inverter there, right? So the thing is, how do we get this to double extend? That is going to be hard. Because even if I get this to extend, say I used a, and again, we got to be careful how we do this. If I were able to do something like have that in place there and get this to extend first, right? By maybe doing something, not by doing that, by doing that. And so if I were able to do that to get that to extend first, then when I extend this, I don't know if this will extend the extended piston. Yeah, it doesn't. And it shouldn't either. That's a kind of silly expectation. Yeah, see, so what happens is this has to extend secondarily, and that's what I don't know how to do. Like, I don't know how to then get that to do that. Because then this has to move, and that's the problem. Now, if I weren't using slabs, I could use obsidian or something like that, and I could use slime blocks. Or maybe honey blocks, right? I wonder if there's a way I could use honey blocks with this. There's another thing that we can do too. There's another thing that we can do, people. There's another thing that we can do. Let's do this. How about in fact, let's not do those. Maybe these two will be enough because of the way in which it spreads. See if you can predict what I'm doing here. Are you on it? Are you with me? You know, they don't have to be physical hard barriers. There are other things that will discourage a player from dropping across the line. Okay, so dispenser will only pull the buckets through, not... Let me see what happens here. Okay, unfortunately, it won't push lava through the slabs like it pushes water through the slabs. So it won't do that. The other thing I'm a little concerned with is that the baby zombies might not be smart enough to run around the lava. Yeah. That would have been a little too good to be true. Dang. Dang. I'm slouching again. I'm playing like this, and I'm way down under the camera. Sit up straight. All right. This is okay. You know what we might be able to get away with? Kind of reluctant to do this. Already a good sign. Okay. There would be more tiles this way. So more tiles. Well, you know what I mean. We'd have this kind of situation. Well, we couldn't have that, right? Because the player would see the piston. Right, so that one would probably have to stay in place. And that would certainly prevent baby zombies from going through. That wouldn't be cool. Wow, this is challenging, viewers. This is actually very hard to do. This is much harder than I thought it would be, which is how things usually go in Baby Zombie Rush. Yeah, we'll just make this little aqua parkour. You know, we made one of these in the beta, in the alpha version, in the test world. We'll just copy that over into here. Nah, it's a whole different ballgame now. Yeah, like we wouldn't be able to do any of that, right? Because I'm thinking like right under this curtain of lava, but also it doesn't extend outward enough, right? So there is that. See, what I would like is to have this be lava all the way across and just have a corridor underneath like that. And that doesn't look like that's going to happen. Man, I really thought lava was going to be the answer there. I really thought so. I thought we had it. Dang, I thought we really had that. Yeah. Also, because of this situation, right, these still, yeah, these would have to be pulled down so the player wouldn't be able to see the piston. My idea of trying to pull them across, not cool. But that would have freed up a whole bunch of room down below for the redstone for that. So two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Yeah, the lava didn't work out. Oh, that sucks. I really thought we had it with the lava. I'm still thinking though that dropping these so the baby zombies can get through. I'm still thinking that's a good thing. And we are almost at the end of the stream. The playlist ran out. What to do about this? Well, this is a real noggin scratcher. I have to admit. So I've recreated our intersection here, and this is where the barrier has to come. You know what? I might wind up having to just use the command blocks and just spawn the barrier in. I really, really don't want to do that though. I so don't want to do that. But I'm out of time. All right. Well, at least we've established what the problems are that we're facing here. Yeah. Okay. I was really hoping I would have something. I was really thinking that I knew this barrier was going to be tricky, but I didn't think it was going to be this tricky. And one of the main problems, there are two main problems. There's a lack of area to deal with. The area is pretty darn tight, number one, and number two, this whole idea with the slab heights versus the block heights. That's also a problem. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to think about this one. But as always, even if you weren't able to view the stream today, uh, live with us, if you weren't able to join us here live, that's what I'm trying to say, and you're watching the VOD, if you have any ideas, you can certainly post them in the Baby Zombie Rush. Um, I think it's Baby Zombie Rush Ideas channel. I think I have that in there. Brainstorming. I think it's Baby Zombie Rush Brainstorming is what I called it. So on our Discord server, you'll find a channel in there, and that channel is called Baby Zombie Rush Brainstorming. And if you have ideas, you can always submit those, even if they're not related to this. You just have ideas about the game or whatnot. Enjoyed the stream, Ba. Thank you, son. I'm sorry we didn't do more about the gates and the latches in this stream. This stream, I was very, very hard pressed to come up with something for this. But like I said, when you get back, we can do a stream about that. Looking forward to our circuit stream. Absolutely. All good. Yeah, this is going to be fun, son. I'm going to really enjoy that one. So, yeah, I really didn't think that this would be quite this challenging. But you know what? This will be one of those things where the solution will pop right into my head. The moment it's least needed. Like probably the moment I sign off from this stream. Anyways, it's past 9 o'clock. I don't want to raid out tonight. It's kind of late. Kachi's got to get to bed, and so thank you everybody for joining me tonight. Just remember that we do this Generations stream every Wednesday, typically from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, I'm streaming later tonight because we had a schedule change. Our next stream will be on Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Buffooncraft SMP Season 6. We are running for the entire month. We are running the Lucky Block Redeem for that month. So Friday, that will be active. You can redeem Lucky Blocks and assign them to myself or whichever buffoons happen to be on on the server at the time. We bring the Lucky Blocks to the Halloween Lucky Block Arena, where we place them, activate them, break them, and then all kinds of absurd things happen. All right, so I think I have my cooldown for 20 minutes on each one of those, and it's a 2-hour stream, so there's plenty of opportunities for players to redeem those blocks. So, and then the stream after that will be Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Kachi time. I have no idea what Kachi wants to do, but we'll see. Okay, everyone, enjoy your evening, your morning, your afternoon, wherever you happen to be. Join us again next time. Bye for now.